The Business Bully Podcast is being brought to you by Audible. With over 180,000 titles to choose from, Audible is everything you could ever possibly need in order to get your audiobook game popping. Why? Because you need it. Go to audibletrial.com/bully, and like that, ladies and gentlemen, we will start this show.
He's been an award-winning media personality and producer. As a speaker, he's empowered over 1 million people from the stage. Now, one of the leading brand experts and business coaches in the U.S. is bringing his unique brand of straight talk to the world of on-demand audio. It's the Business Bully Podcast. Now, here's the Business Bully himself, David Anderson.
Yes, damn it. Why has it been so long? I will tell you, people. First of all, welcome to the show. I appreciate you sticking in. Thank you for all the subscribers and all of my 5-star subscribers. Let me give you the biggest stadium clap I can find. And on that note, let me quote a man named Jeffrey Atkins, who said, "Where would I be without you?" In all seriousness, I appreciate you going to Stitcher and Spreaker and iTunes and just going and rating the show. You know how I am. 5 stars. I don't care what you put up. You can tell me that I'm a piece of shit zombie from hell, and I will go ahead and be more than happy to read that on the air. You want to know why? Because I'm a slave to 5 stars, damn it. Why? Because that sends the podcast up. And what does that mean? I get more sponsors. Like right now, the Business Bully Podcast is being brought to you by Fat Free Water. Hey, fat ass, drink it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's absolutely awesome. It's delicious. I'm drinking Fat Free Water right now, and I've lost 0 pounds. But that's okay. It's still delicious. Also, there's a brand new charity I'm actually every week going to give a portion of my show to this charity. It's called Hugs for the Butthurt. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there are 1.3 million Americans who are suffering from the horrible communicable disease known as butthurt. And Hugs for the Butthurt actually goes in and helps them by giving them the hugs they so desperately need that I'm not going to give them because I'm not their fucking mommy. So, make sure that you go to hugsforthebutthurt.net.org// I don't give a rat's ass. Yeah, it'd be absolutely awesome. Also, the show's being brought to you by Zero Fucks Given. Absolutely. When you have no fucks, I ain't got none either. So we both shit out of luck. Now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, I want to welcome you. And I know a lot of people have been emailing me, asking me questions. Listen, man, I got a lot of stuff going on. Sell It Like Jesus will be out first week of December. We're looking at December 6th, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like it will be an amazing book from everything that I've been told. And I'm excited about it. I really am excited about it. You know, when I write something, I don't look at it and say, oh, you know what? This is going to be phenomenal. But from early adapters, people who have actually seen parts of the book, man, people are really loving the concept. The cover art's going to be incredible. So feel free to get ready because pre-orders will happen very, very soon. Also, in all seriousness, aside from that, and thank you for still keeping Pitch Close Upsell Repeat on the bestseller list for a whopping 42 weeks. I mean, damn, y'all. Y'all are just spreading that. I love it. I'm not mad at that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It makes me happy. Yeah, very happy. Now, one thing that I do want to let you know that's extremely cool that I have coming down the pike, it's going to be released in about 2 weeks, is something I'm calling Viral Deadbeat. Now, if you know me, you know how I feel about deadbeats. Deadbeats are pieces of shit who just show up at the last possible fucking minute. My brother had a deadbeat father. I can't stand that bastard because he went out and started having other kids and wouldn't take care of my brother. Now, my brother's older than I am. So, I've always had an issue with deadbeats. I've got deadbeats in my family. They bother the fuck out of me because it's like, you lay down with somebody, you make a kid, take care of the kid. That's all I'm saying. So, I've created a software called Viral Deadbeat. Because what does the deadbeat do? It waits until you do all the hard work and it shows up at the last fucking minute acting like it's been there the whole time. So, if you take that concept, right? This is how my brain works. If you take that concept and you apply it to something that already has viral traffic in your particular niche, and you take that domain and you take it and you put it into this software, it'll give you a different domain. And then you can go share that domain and it'll still pop up as the regular domain, but at the bottom, you can put in your email opt-in list. You can also put in a click to your website with a discount coupon. There's so much you can do with this software. So I've been really, really blessed to be able to bring this to you. And I know everybody doesn't have $60,000 to drop on a bunch of developers and nerds and schmucks with tape on their glasses to figure this dumb shit out. Look, man, well, damn it, I don't do it for me. I do it for the people. And, the people will cut a check. Why? Because, damn it, I'm the business bully. I'm not the charity bully. That's a different dude. I never met him, though. So, one other thing I want to talk about, which is really important, and I want to be very clear on this. People ask me all the time, well, you're voting for Hillary, right? You voting for Trump then? Here's the thing, right? I know for a fact that your vote does not matter in a presidential election. Now, I know that there are people who are going to fight me up and down about this and say, oh, well, Dave, you're black. And because you're black, there's so many people went out there all their life and they had to fight and they was marching and singing. And I'm like, okay, so let me make sure I understand this. So a bunch of people, before I was born, went out and marched and sang and got their asses whooped for the right to vote. And they still didn't get the right to vote until about maybe 12 years before I was born. And even now, to this day, if you take my state like Pennsylvania, you actually have a situation where, I don't know how to put this to you. It's really simple. If, in fact, you're black, they will try to do everything like voter ID suppression and all these other things to stop you from going to the polls. So, yeah, that was cool. And I will tell you something else that's really going to piss you off. All the singing and marching and dancing didn't do a bit of good for Trayvon Martin, didn't do a bit of good for Jordan Davis, didn't do a bit of good for Sandra Bland or anybody damn else who looks like me. So, yeah, here's what I know. You want to know what real power is? I'm going to tell you what real power is. It's going to flip your wig. The real power is actually being your own boss. No. I don't mean the situation where you're the fucking Avon lady. I'm talking about actually owning the means of production, owning the distribution, owning your particular brand and your space on this planet. Until you can do that, you will always be beholden to the political process and hope that there's somebody in there who might throw you a freaking bone already. Dr. Evil reference, Austin Powers, Google it. So, let me put that another way. Whether Bush was in the White House, whether Obama's in the White House, it doesn't matter if Trump's in the White House. Me and mine are going to be okay. You want to know why? Because I don't worry about whether or not there's going to be a good job waiting for me. I am my job. As long as I got my MacBook, this microphone, this phone, and my ability to spit these hot bars in your ear, I'm good. But see, some of y'all are worried. Because if Hillary Clinton doesn't get in there, then there won't be any good jobs, and then they're going to have to they might not raise the minimum wage. What? What? You want somebody to raise the bar of what the bottom amount you can make is? Do you have any idea how stupid you sound? Minimum wage jobs were put in place for teenagers to have some spending money so they can get out of their fucking parents' hair. They're not made for you to go out here and use them for the rest of your life. I mean, some of y'all actually work at McDonald's and got a 401k. I'm sorry. That in and of itself just sounds insane. And no diss to the McDonald's workers. But I mean, nah. If you are looking at McDonald's as a career path and you're not looking to buy like 3 or 4 of them bitches, you're gonna be Calvin, doing good in the neighborhood, smelling like fries every damn day, and still not getting a bad chick. If you know me, you will know outside of my daddy's grill, my brother's grill, my brother-in-law's grill, and my own fucking kitchen, I ain't never flipped a burger, and I never will. Why? Because I wasn't created for that. And neither were you, but somebody convinced you that you were. Yes, they did. I am telling you right now, You don't need to worry about who's in office. You need to worry about who is in your pockets. And if everybody's in your pockets, number one, when you're sitting up here and you're talking about, oh, I hope I can negotiate a good salary. Basically, what you're doing is you're being Casey Haley. In case you don't know who Casey Haley is, he was in a band with his brother JoJo, and they had two brothers that they knew named Dalvin and Devontae, and they had a band called Jodeci. And Jodeci was known for a lot of different things. Number one being wearing leather in the middle of the desert where nobody understand how 4 kids from the hood got to the desert. But aside from that, they were known for begging. And as ridiculous as a crackhead wearing leather in the desert singing and begging sounds like, that's exactly what you look like when you're going in to negotiate a salary. Who does that? You know what I pay myself? $39,000 a year. Do you know why I pay myself $39,000 a year? Because I work for Dave Anderson. And that's Dave Anderson's salary. Why do I pay myself that? Because, damn it, it's a great tax bracket. I don't have to worry about anything. Everything's lined up. There's a separate account for my business because I don't do janky business. And in that account is where the real bread is that I use to operate my business. But y'all don't get that. And then some of y'all will get an $80,000 job, for those of you who are just adamant on having a job, and you, oh my God, what do? You'll buy a $50,000 car that goes down to $36,950 the second you take it off the lot, numbnuts. Me, I drive a Hyundai. You want to know why? Because it's economical and I fucking love it. It's America's best warranty. I fucking love it. And the only reason I got the Hyundai is because my Honda died after 17 years. Why? Because you learn and you do better. And that's what I'm here to teach you. Oh, you gonna learn today. You gonna get this work. I'm gonna take a quick break, and when I come back, I'm gonna teach you something that is going to blow your mind. You want to know why? Because I ain't the one teaching it. So my mind's going to be blown right with yours. Yes, it is. Coach TaJauna is here. The LinkedIn professor is on my show. Get ready. I'm going to be right back. Hold tight. And, stay right where the hell you are. It's the Business Bully Show.
He's one of the leading business coaches and branding experts in the US, generating millions of dollars for brands like Nutrisystem, The Ricky Smiley Morning Show, iHeartMedia, and Les Brown. He's impacted over 1 million people from the stage. Now, best-selling author David Anderson releases his latest book, Pitch, Close, Upsell, Repeat, a practical guide to sales dominance. Learn how to conquer fear of selling, how to get people to buy from you, and more. This book will motivate and inspire you to unleash the sales beast inside of you. Pitch, Close, Upsell, Repeat by David Anderson is available at Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com, or wherever fine books are sold.
You're damn right it was. And it's still going. 40 some odd weeks and counting. I'm so excited. So, ladies and gentlemen and lady friends, welcome back to the Business Bully Podcast. I'm so excited to be here. And, well, damn it, of course I am. It's my show. Why wouldn't I be excited? But I want to cut right to it because my guest has been chomping at the bit to get on this show. I don't know why she set her sights so low. She is an Amazon #1 best-selling author. She is a LinkedIn professor. Coach TaJauna is on my show. Coach, what up, what up, what up?
I am on your show. I can't believe it. I'll tell you why I'm excited to be on your show. It's because I've been following you for years. And so I was one of those people that fell for the okie doke that you were talking about a little while ago about, having a job and relying on somebody else for your salary and your means, your way of life, et cetera, et cetera. And in that journey within corporate America, I found out about you. And so here I am today. It's one of those days where I need to pinch myself that you even know my name, let alone I'm on your show. So I am super excited. I thank you for allowing me to be here, and I can't wait.
Oh, wow. Damn. I feel like I've done something with my life.
You most certainly have. Yes. You and see, I'm a student of business, and I was raised with an executive dad. My dad used to take me to go see Les Brown, Will Jolly, all those cats, and so I got fascinated with business at a very, very young age, and because I spent the vast majority of my life in corporate America, I didn't see a whole lot of people that looked like me. And I certainly didn't see a whole lot of people who had my mindset. And so I always gravitated towards people who think the way I do. And it just so happens that I've followed you all this time because we have a similar mindset. And so I really, truly am grateful for being here. I have studied Les Brown's business model almost inside and out for many, many years. And that's how I came across you in the first place. Oh, so, wow. If for me, it's an awesome journey. And I now understand that there is a different path and I'm on it. I set out this year to be very intentional. And it just so happens that the three people that I look up to in business the most out of everybody out there, all three of you know my name as of this year. So I couldn't be more grateful than that.
Wow. Damn, that's humbling as a motherfucker. Like, wow. Yo, for real. Look, I gotta know this though. Who are the other two?
Well, the other two, Gary Vaynerchuk, he saw a tweet of mine earlier this year and he liked it. And that may not seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but to me, it's huge. I didn't have a presence online at all 2.5 years ago. And Gary is somebody I really look up to. And for him to like a tweet of mine, that made my day. Earl G. Hall, who is a scientist, he studies the science of happiness, and I consider him to be one of my mentors. And I set out on my
you are breaking up bad. Hold up.
To shake his hand.
Wait, hold on. You are breaking up really bad. I don't know what happened. Say something.
Oh, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up. I don't know why you're breaking up though.
I haven't moved. I'll keep going, though.
Yeah, keep going.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I set out this year to shake Earl G. Hall's hand because I figured if I hit that goal of shaking his hand, it means that I actually met him in person. And sure enough, not only did I meet him, but I brought him in to be the keynote speaker of my very first conference as a business owner. So between Earl, Gary V, and you, I've hit like the holy trinity of business.
Wow. There's something to live up to. Wow. That is wow. Wow, that's wow. God dang. Wow, yeah, I'm speechless. Yeah. A lot of people, I don't know why, put me and Gary V in the same conversation, which in a lot of ways I'm honored. In a lot of ways I feel like, really? Huh? Okay. I like Gary V. I like what he does business-wise. There's certain things I just wish it wouldn't come out of his mouth because I feel like they're extremely irresponsible. And that's just me personally. And most of them center around his views on black people. Mm-hmm. I have an issue with any. Here's the thing, right? Just full disclosure. My grandmother is a McPhail. So she's somewhat Irish. She married the darkest black man she could find because my grandmother was passing. So she married the darkest black man she could find. My grandmother on my mother's side is Indian. So I don't care about race as hustle. I care about what people view my race as. And as a black man, regardless of all of those nice, cool little Ancestral.com facts, I don't go speaking on Irish issues. I don't go speaking on Indian issues, but I do speak on black issues because I'm black and I've earned that right. Mm-hmm. When you get on a platform, and don't get me wrong, Charlamagne's like my brother, and I love him to death, and I will return to the Breakfast Club later on this year. When you get to talking about how your color doesn't matter and race doesn't matter because people just want results, that's not true. Mm-hmm. It's not only not true, it's very irresponsible to say that, because Gary Vee, as much as he's done, has never been black a day in his life.
Right.
You know, I can no more speak for what it is to be a Jewish Russian immigrant and not know a lick of English in America and have kids make me drink piss as a practical joke than he can speak as to what it is for me to be a black man in business. Mm-hmm. Because he has no clue. So, other than that, I think he's brilliant. I think he's right 90% of the time. But that right there, And when I see him, I'm going to tell him that.
That's what I love about Gary Vee, though, because when I do disagree with his mindset or his thought process on something, I realize that if I ever do come in contact with him face to face, he's the kind of cat I can talk to and have a civilized conversation with and disagree at the same time, making sure that whatever my thought process was actually resonates with him. That's what I like about him. But from a business perspective, which is why I follow him, I like the fact that he encourages people to stay very closely tied to their own core values. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is I really appreciate about his journey. And, what I love about what you bring to the table is the fact that you help me understand that I don't have to fit the story that I was told that I needed to fit. And that was a struggle growing up. That was a struggle for the vast majority of my life. I always felt like I was supposed to fit in. And I imagine that a part of that was due to the fact that I grew up moving around quite a bit. So having an executive dad also meant that we only spent 2 or 3 years in a city at a time. I think Philly was probably maybe the second longest I ever lived anywhere. We lived in Philly for about 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And I loved Philly. I was really young at the time, but I think growing up and moving around a lot also taught me that it was important to assimilate and fit in. And so I internalized that growing up and thought that's what you were supposed to do because that's what I was encouraged to do, was fit in. Mm. And, it took 40 some odd years for me to learn that, no, you don't have to do that just because everyone around you is doing it, just because you were told, go to school for all these years, get a degree, graduate, go work at ABC Incorporated, retire and collect a gold watch. Just because you were taught that doesn't mean that that's the life for you. Mm. And I didn't realize that until within the last 2.5 years. Oh, wow. So that's another reason why I look up to people like you, because you have the same business acumen coming to the table that I was taught growing up, yet you're committed to you and your core values. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't seen that for many, many years. So I latched on and have been stuck to you like Velcro ever since. So really, when I say I need to pinch myself, truly, I'm the one that's sitting back as a super fan, not believing my life right now.
Wow. I need like 35 more of you, and then I can take over the world. No, like seriously, because you know what though? I'm going to be very honest with you. I did not have like an ideal childhood. Like, my mom did the best she possibly could. My parents divorced when I was 3. My father worked for the government in law enforcement of some type. What he did, I don't know. It's classified. God rest his soul. But I knew that my parents divorced for a myriad of reasons, most of which are known only to those two. But I will say for me, on the outside looking in, with the logic of a 3-year-old and the help of a 10-year-old brother at the time, I thought that maybe if I grew up and I became like the best lawyer, then I could be attorney general and I could lock up all the bad guys and daddy can go home and be with mom. And that's just what it was going to be, you know? And I always had a vision of myself that was larger than my circumstances. And that automatically made me an outcast everywhere I went, you know, because, you know, I was reading, you know, at a college level by the time I was 12, because I didn't sit around and just play games like wall ball. I don't know if you're familiar with wall ball, but it's a Philadelphia tradition. You take a ball, usually a tennis ball, you throw it up against the wall, and if it bounces, then you got to throw it back to the person who was it. The person who was it has the honor of throwing the ball against the wall and hoping that nobody catches it before it lands on the ground. This is the dumbest fucking game ever in the history of dumb fucking games. I knew that at 10. The folks around me, they didn't really know that. And because of that, and because I spoke white, whatever the fuck that is, because I put a G on the end of my sentences and I conjugate verbs on a regular basis, I was different. I was bougie. I was this, that, and the third. And oh God, don't even get me started with radio and TV came calling. So I was always an outcast, and it hurt because all I wanted to do was fit in. And then I remember being about 12, maybe 13 years old. It's about 90, 91. I'm a little younger than you, but not by much. And my mother comes home from this lecture, book signing type of situation, and she was telling me about this guy, and he's got a PBS special, and you're going to sit here and watch it. And I'm like, oh, great. As if I'm not a dork enough. Now I'm being forced to watch PBS. And I'm watching it, and there's this black man. And he's telling me that he was educationally retarded and that he was born on the floor with a twin brother. And I said, one day I'm going to do what that guy does. That's me. I know him. That is who I am. You know, people can't see it, but I'm going to be that. You know, and it only took me, I would say from the time I watched that PBS special till the time I gave my first speech was 6 months. And 25 years later, I'm still speaking. Now you back up maybe 6 years, and I'm working for the man. I'm working for Les Brown. And to be able to see that, even though people didn't see that, taught me something. It didn't teach me. It confirmed what I already knew, which was that I was not meant. Mankind is not meant to fit in. That means to be homogenized. To be cool means to not stand out, to not think for yourself, to buy whatever TV tells you to buy, to fuck whoever TV tells you should fuck, to love whoever TV tells you should love, to do everything the way that everybody else does it, paint within the lines, dance the song that everybody danced that your daddy danced, all because difference makes people uncomfortable. And people are uncomfortable, then they get scared. And when people get scared, then they begin to hate. And that, not race, not gender, that, not understanding and not seeking to understand is the root of all prejudice. Mm-hmm. And so once I understood that, then I became free. I'm never going to be a Speedo swimsuit model. It's not going to happen. Somehow I still landed a smoking hot wife. I am never going to be, one of these guys who, can sit down and code on a computer for hours and hours on end. Yet and still, I'm talking to you on a format that I helped develop. Spreaker is something that I was a part of from the beginning. I look at iHeartRadio, I look at Hang With and all of the things that have come after it, like Periscope. And I'm like, yeah, damn, I did that. Did I do it all? Did I invent it? No, not at all. But to try and remove me from those conversations is next to impossible. Mm-hmm. So if I was one of these small playing, dumb schmuck, go with the flow, I want to be cool, fit in people, I would not be here. Right. And then what would that mean for your trajectory? Fuck me. Mm-hmm. What impact would you have not had if I did not choose to do what I do so that you could find out who I was and say, hold up, I can do that. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? It is selfish for you to want to be cool. It is selfish for you to want to fit in. So, like literally, I'm fighting back tears because I don't have too many people tell me how much they admire me. And it's the most humbling thing in the world to me. It's not even an ego thing. It's not even, well, I'm fucking awesome. Even though I tell that to myself in the mirror every fucking day. It's, more the fact that something I said or something I did had such an impact that you changed the direction of something about whatever your normal routine was. And that's an amazing responsibility. So I thank you for sharing that with me. I really do.
Well, it's also what has gotten me to understand that I have to, in turn, do the same thing and be as available, be as vulnerable, be as open with people so that someone who randomly sees me one day says, I want to be that. That's what I want to be. And that visual stays in that person's head and in the course of their life changes. And if it weren't waking up one morning and realizing that I didn't want to be in the environment I was in anymore, I would have stayed in my comfortable corporate life probably until I retired, because again, that's what I was told to do. And to your point, people around you don't understand when you decide you want to change course and do something different. They don't understand it, so they become uncomfortable. But it's that discomfort that people have that really was the basis for my business. So I did start a business 2.5 years ago, and it's called Get Over Yourself. But it's called that because of all of the bullshit that we say to ourselves, all of the things that hold us back, that we've internalized throughout life, but we're acting on those things. And to your point, a lot of that action is steeped in fear and discomfort. And so my job as a coach is to help people get past the bullshit they say to themselves, because we are the only ones holding ourselves back. And it's that self-love that a lot of us were never taught growing up. And if you didn't learn self-love, then you probably are one of the people trying to be cool and fitting in. So I'm committed to this mission because when I see other people like you who are committed to you and your core values, it makes me excited because I see that right there is the stimulus package that everybody's been looking for. It's having people get to the point where they understand and they practice self-love, because at that point, there's nothing that can stop us. And to see that on a massive scale is something we've never seen before, because I am a firm believer that America is addicted to being average, and being average is not going to get us anywhere. And so I would love to see a change, of course, where people all of a sudden are allergic to being average and they put the work in to do something to exercise the greatness that Les Brown is always telling us we have. You see, he reminds us every chance he gets that we all have greatness within us. I see it, other people see it, you see it, but having greatness and practicing greatness are two different things. I want to see people practice the greatness that is within them. But in our society, people are okay and comfortable and content being average.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Amen to that. You ain't lying. Man, so that's crazy. Like I didn't realize you had such a dedication to making sure that people tap into their greatness. Like that's amazing and that's awesome. Do me a favor and tell me just a little bit about that in correlation with what you do with LinkedIn.
So I learned when I started my coaching business, and I was intentional about helping people get past their stuckage, as I call it, I realized that a lot of people were stuck from a career vantage point versus other aspects of their life, their personal life, family life, etc. There is stuckage there as well. But my background being business, I gravitated towards the people that had their stuckage based in their career. Mm-hmm. And what I found is that a lot of the people that I was working with were entrepreneurs. They had a full-time job, and some of them had a side hustle, a side business, but they all had full-time jobs. And they came to me in the first place because they watched my journey of leaving a full-time job in order to run my business full-time. And so in working with those people, I learned that they had absolutely no LinkedIn acumen. And so no matter what kind of transition they wanted to make, whether it was finding another job in their company or committing to their full-time business, whatever transition it was, they were going to have a hard time making that transition because they had no brand whatsoever on LinkedIn. And because I was forced to get a crash course in LinkedIn, I was even more adamant that I needed to share that knowledge with people, especially the ones who were stuck and wanting to run a business full time. So I have now really spent most of my time helping people in that transition out of corporate America into running their businesses full time. And I do that by really teaching strategy on LinkedIn, which is what most people are using now to get ahead and be seen. So it's a platform that I love. It's a massive branding tool. I realize that people think it's the place to go to look for a job, but it is so much more than that. And I promise you, I did not exist anywhere online 2.5 years ago. So February 2014 was when I finally got online. And to go from being completely anonymous to now being the LinkedIn professor and having people call me because they want me to come speak somewhere, or they want to hire me to coach them, or they want me to ghostwrite for their celebrity brand, whatever it is, it just blows my mind. And that is the power of LinkedIn.
Wow. The power! The phenomenal power! I'm sorry, I was having a moment. But no, like for me personally, and you're... okay. All right, I'm okay. Normally this does not happen on my show this way. I guess this is what it is to be on the other end of me. For the longest, I thought that LinkedIn was supposed to be where you go to get a damn job. Like I thought, okay, no, let me go a little bit further so you don't think I'm a complete dunce. I also understood that people, like nerds and schmucks and muckety mucks who were just too cool for the room posted their cute little articles on LinkedIn. I didn't think it was like a thing where you could actually like build a brand and a platform that anybody would give a rat's ass about. But obviously I'm wrong.
I'm actually certified as a brand coach, and what I can tell you about LinkedIn is that outside of the jobs that people can find on that platform, so yes, that is a component of the platform, but LinkedIn in its entirety is a networking platform. That's all it is. It just happens to be networking geared towards professionals. But as business owners, as entrepreneurs, who are most of my clients, it is the place where everyone goes to find out who you are as a professional. And quite frankly, people use what they see or don't see on LinkedIn to determine whether or not they want to do business with you. And so I tell people all the time, I see you on Facebook, I see you on Twitter, Instagram, you look like your brand is fire. But when I pull you up on LinkedIn, I'm like, damn, dog, like, no, I'm not cutting a check to you. There's no way in hell. Because that's the one platform where we're all expected to have our brand if we consider ourselves to be professionals. So it's a place where we give permission for the general public, or more importantly, the buying public, to not do business with us. And since a lot of entrepreneurs don't know that, because we're told LinkedIn is the place to find a job, entrepreneurs in particular have the problem of losing business that they don't even know they could have had, all because they're not utilizing LinkedIn. Huh. So it's a demographic that I truly care about, because it's the entrepreneur space that I get really excited about these days. It doesn't thrill me when I meet someone who tells me, they're the vice president of some Fortune 50 company. I look at them, I'm like, okay, right. But I do get super excited when I'm in a conversation with someone who just left all that behind to start something that they're truly passionate about and driven about. Those are the conversations and the people that I want to have an impact with. So I focus on that group and helping them improve their LinkedIn life, because I know that leads to the capital they're trying to get. So it's more than just the place to find the job. It literally connects people with the opportunities, the resources, the money, the clientele, everything that you need to run your business. All of that ecosystem is right there on LinkedIn. And to use that platform to build a brand is what sets people apart. It's how I got here.
Nice. So, wow, it's really fascinating to me because and don't get me wrong, I have a LinkedIn page. I'm pretty sure you're going to tell me it's shit, and that's fine. You know, I know what I know, and I know what I don't. But I did not realize it was that damn deep. That's crazy. So, okay, let's do it this way. What are the 3 things everybody needs to have on their LinkedIn page right now?
A kick-ass headline. Okay. Now, a kick-ass headline, let me define that. Because LinkedIn has a default headline right now. So anyone who has a LinkedIn account automatically has a headline that says the most recent job title that someone has. So if you're looking at a page full of people on LinkedIn, you'll see a lot of headlines that say something like senior marketing manager or operations consultant or whatever. That's the default headline on LinkedIn. But because there are really only 3 things that populate on a search results page, of those 3 things, the headline is 1. That means the headline holds a whole lot of weight in someone's success on LinkedIn. So I'll give you an example. If somebody goes to LinkedIn and they do a search for keynote speaker, as an example, well, I want to show up in those search results because I'm a keynote speaker.
Right.
But if they do that search, they're looking at a page with at least 10 people on that page who are keynote speakers. So how do I stand out? I stand out by having a kick-ass headline versus operations manager or some other random title that says nothing about me. Okay, my kick-ass headline, though, is going to state my value proposition. It's going to have keywords that reflect my revenue streams so that people know why they should whip out their credit card and pay me. Okay, so the first thing I'd say is a kick-ass headline. The second thing is a professional headshot. And I do mean professional, like you paid somebody to take that shit. That's a professional headshot. Okay. Right, because I have people send me their pictures all the time, and they'll ask me, "Is this okay?" And I'll be like, "Really though? Seriously? You're in the bathroom mirror and you're taking a selfie, and you're asking me if that's appropriate for your LinkedIn profile? Come on, dog. Really?
Really?
No. It's got to be a professional headshot. The buying public needs to be able to see that you paid for that picture. That's a professional headshot, okay? And preferably one where you're actually smiling, preferably one where you're actually looking straight into the camera, and preferably one that is in alignment with the rest of your brand. And then the third thing that people need, and this one's not necessarily on the profile per se, but this is a critical a very important thing on LinkedIn. You can connect with other people on LinkedIn by sending them a connection request. And all day, every day, I receive connection requests from random people that I don't know. Sometimes people that I do know as well. Very few of those connection requests, in fact, on my end, my own personal inbox, a solid 8 or 9 out of 10 connection requests that I receive are the default connection requests, the default verbiage that says, "I'd like to add you to my LinkedIn network." Okay, that doesn't move me at all. And if I don't know the person sending the request, fat chance in me accepting it.
Delete.
So. And before I delete, depending on who it is, before I delete, I actually take an additional step in there of replying to that person and just letting them know that they gave me no particular reason to accept their connection request. And sometimes, depending on who it is, if somebody is a vice president of sales or higher, I will actually reply to them and simply ask the question, why? Really, why? You're a VP of sales and you just sent me a default connection request on LinkedIn. You're the dumbass. So I want to know why you felt that that was a good decision to make when you're the leader of a sales organization. Because if you have the balls to do that, that means that everybody who rolls up to you does the same thing. And you all need to bring me in and hire me at that point. So in those instances, I'll take an extra step there. But the vast majority of people that send a default connection request get nowhere with me. So I would encourage people, every single connection request you send, no matter who it is, it could be your mama, always personalize your connection request. It takes 10, 30 seconds to say something other than the default content. And that shows that you actually give a rat's ass about having that person in your network. So it totally sets you apart. And more importantly, it starts, in some cases, a business relationship on a positive foot versus you looking like everybody else. So those are my three. Those are the three biggest things that I would pass on to someone about LinkedIn.
Wow. Well, damn. I feel like... Well, I feel like basically you're going to be hooking up my LinkedIn profile because, yeah, my brain is fried now. Like, literally, I forgot, like, what show I was on for a second. I'm like, what the fuck am I...
It's definitely a lot. I understand why people pick up the phone to call me because it is daunting. When people sit down to, quote-unquote, do their LinkedIn profile, I get this message almost every day. Someone will send me an email or they'll just call and they'll say, I was trying to do my LinkedIn profile and I got stuck. And I think to myself, well, of course you did, because it's not something that you can sit down and just knock out tonight. It's not a homework assignment that you'll be finished with tonight. You know, I literally coach people through their entire LinkedIn presence. And at minimum, people put me on retainers for 3 months. So it's not a quick project.
God knows.
Yeah, it is definitely something to be strategic about because of the return. You know, when I look at my business and I can see that 90+% of my revenue comes directly or indirectly from LinkedIn, it tells me that the time I spend on the platform is worth it. My return on investment, my return on time, all of that is so worth it. Because I talk to my peers and my competitors, and they can't say the same thing.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much makes you fucking peerless. Yeah.
and I'm okay with that because look at me. I'm on the Dave Anderson show right now.
I mean, just Lord have mercy. What a way to set the bar so low. Woo! Because we major mediocrity around these parts. No, but no, I think it's great. Now, what was the path for you to start writing this book?
You know, this is again the whole idea that I internalized a message for the vast majority of my life, and the message was go to school, work here, retire. And I internalized a whole lot of false messages in my life, one of which was, I'm not a writer. And I've actually said that sentence many times in my life. I'm not a writer. But it just so happens that in September of 2015, last year, I got a phone call from a gentleman that I had never spoken to before on the phone. I met him in March. I spoke at a conference in March at the Black Life Coaches event, and he was brought up on stage at the end of the event to give some remarks. And I noticed that when he came off of the stage, there was a long line of people to go talk to him, shake his hand, take pictures, that kind of thing. So I was one of those people in the line. I got to meet him that day, but that was about it. I was standing in line with other people. I figured he would not remember who I was. But last year, he was told to call me because he was in the process of wanting to rebrand himself. This guy was actually, speaking of Les Brown, this guy was actually on the same speaking circuit with Les Brown years ago. They know each other very well. So he calls me because he was told that if he wanted to rebrand himself, he needed to talk to me. And I'm on the phone with him. We were talking maybe 4 minutes or so. He tells me what he's needing, and he gave me a pretty good description. And then he stops and he says, "TaJauna, do you have a book?" I said, "No, I'm not a writer." But I also thought he was asking me that question as a potential client might want some sort of workbook or something like that. So I said, well, as my client, you will get a workbook, but I don't have a book per se. And he says, "You just told me you're not a writer. Don't ever say that again." And I said, "No, dude, really? Seriously, dude, you don't even know me. Like, I'm not a writer." He said, "TaJauna, I promise you that by Christmas of this year, you will be a best-selling author." Now, when he said that, I immediately pulled up my calendar on my computer. I immediately pulled up my calendar because I never know the date. I hardly ever know the date. I didn't even realize at the time that it was September when I was talking to him. So I had to actually look at a calendar. And when I saw that it was September and he said by Christmas, I did the quick math in my head and I said, "Do you mean Christmas 2017? He said, "No, Christmas, like in a couple months, you will be a best-selling author." I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, whatever." Turns out this guy, Dr. Chef Timothy Moore, is a #1 best-selling author himself many times over, and he has helped other authors become best-selling authors, #1 best-selling authors, over and over and over again. And so I was all in when he told me that. Once I got past the whole sentence of "I am not a writer," when I got off the phone with him, he made me promise I would never say that again. But I got off the phone with him, I went straight to Google and I started researching, how do I make this book happen? And I stopped probably within an hour or so because I remembered in the conversation that he told me he would give me every step to take. So I'm sitting on my computer researching. I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? He told me he's going to have me every step of the way. I don't need to second guess this process. So I closed down Google and I just rested assured knowing that everything I needed to do to publish a book by Christmas, he would tell me. And sure enough, not only did we publish by Christmas, which, by the way, side note here, I only told a few people about this book. I normally keep things very close to the chest. I don't broadcast what I'm working on. And so I only shared that with a few people. But every single person that I mentioned it to, every single one of them said the same thing. They all said, "TaJauna, you can't publish a book at Christmas time. You're not Oprah. You're not Susie Orman. You're not anybody famous like that. Christmas publishing is for celebrities." That's what people told me.
Yeah.
That's all I heard. Yet, we published my book, and mind you, I was still anonymous last year. We published my book on December 23rd, and within 6 hours, it was a #1 bestseller.
Yep.
And it's been a bestseller ever since. It's never dropped below bestseller status, not even close. So all these people that told me I couldn't do that, and myself, I said it myself. And I now know that once I committed to me and once I said yes to me, everything in my life changed. The right people started showing up. The right opportunities started showing up. Shit that I've never even thought of doing before has happened. And that book is really the culmination of one thing that I mentioned earlier. You remember I gave you the 3 things my 3 tips on LinkedIn. And I said one of them is to send a personalized connection request. Well, if it were not for the personalized connection request that I sent to the CEO of LinkedIn, if it weren't for that personalized connection request that I sent on a Friday afternoon, and I turned on my computer Monday morning, and I got an email sitting in my inbox Monday morning from LinkedIn saying the editor-in-chief wants to interview you on Wednesday. I'm like, well, shit, yeah.
Right.
I'm sitting on the phone with this lady on Wednesday, and she tells me that day, this is 2014, and at the time, LinkedIn had a new publishing platform. Fairly new, but it was only available to the influencers, the Deepak Chopras, the Tony Robbins, all those influencers were able to publish on the platform, but it was not rolled out site-wide yet. I was sitting on the phone with the editor-in-chief, and she tells me that day, she says, we want to offer you an early access spot on the publishing platform.
Look at Jesus.
So from that connection request to that book, all of that shows the power of LinkedIn.
Well, just right where you are. Just sometimes you just gotta just let just right there, because sometimes you just need a sign from the good Lord above, and sometimes it comes down like a thunderbolt. Oh Lord. I'm sorry, I was having a moment, because that is dope shit. People, that is dope shit. You gotta make moves.
That's the story of my life. That's been the last 2.5 years of my life. I am simply blown away, not just by the power of that tool, because it's a tool, right? But I'm blown away by how I've seen that manifest in my life, and it's brought me to the point where, like I said, I finally learned self-love, and by doing that, I'm now able to be authentic with people, and I'm now able to be open and accessible to people. And that's what's allowed me to build the relationships that I've built over the last couple of years outside of the corporate core that I had before. And it's how I'm attracting people whose lives I'm able to impact, and they're able to impact mine. And it's how I'm able to align with the right resources to move my mission forward. So I just encourage people everywhere, say yes to you, commit to you, because all kinds of doors start opening when you do.
I know that's right. And you can't be afraid to invest in yourself. You can't be afraid to move to the next level. So let's talk a little bit about the speaking side of your business. What does that look like for you?
That's my favorite segment of the business, actually. I truly enjoy teaching in general. And my background being in corporate America, I spent 15 plus years as a business sales trainer. It's because my background was in business sales. And so I spent a whole lot of time in the classroom teaching salespeople, and I absolutely love that. And so now to be able to use those same skills and talents in the speaking industry is really one of the things that I love waking up for every day, because I get to go out and really, I speak on 2 topics, LinkedIn as well as mindset, all things mindset. And so I get a chance to help people understand a topic better. So just by transferring knowledge to an audience allows someone else to take that information that they learned and apply it to their life and move forward. So I absolutely love having that kind of impact. And I realized that building a speaking business was something that I had to intentionally do. And I made that decision this year, actually. No, I take that back. It was last year. So I have a huge, huge fear. My biggest fear in life was actually holding me back from building my speaking business to where I needed it to be. And this particular fear is a fear that it's very internalized. It had been there for a very long time. But my biggest fear in life is actually seeing my face. And more specifically, seeing my face on the internet, which is why I was anonymous online until a couple of years ago. And so you and I, both being media mavericks and both having our ties to our coach, TJ Mercer, mm-hmm. I hired her specifically to help me get past that fear. Because I realized that once I started my business, that I could no longer be anonymous. You can't have a sustainable business if you are not online. It's just not possible. But that was the one thing that was holding me back the most. And I knew that I needed to get past that fear in order to see a growth in my online presence. Mm-hmm. So I hired TJ last year. Mm-hmm. And if it weren't for her, and if it weren't for the confidence that she has instilled in me, I would not be here. I can say that with all certainty. I would not be here. I would still be hiding behind some random old picture. I'd still be hiding behind verbiage versus images. I'd still be hiding, period, if it weren't for that woman. So shout out to Coach TJ, because she is amazing. And she'll tell you too, when she started the Media Mavericks Academy last year, and we had a conference call, or I think it was a Periscope broadcast or something, and she said your name, and I was like, wait a second, what? Dave Anderson's a media maverick? Holy shit. And from then on, I had to make sure that TJ knew. I was like, oh my gosh, I have got to get on that man's show. And look at us now, right?
Hallelujah. I'm just, again, setting your sights so low. You know, Les Brown told me something when I was a very young man. He said, most people's problem is not that they aim too high and miss. It's that they aim too low and hit. Well, TaJauna, damn it, you hit. This is as low as it gets.
I am so excited to have hit this mark. This, for me, is not a low bar at all.
I don't know who showed. There must be. You know what? I know what it is. You think I'm the Dave Anderson that owns the barbecue chains? That's not. I'm the business bully. Like, you got the wrong. Somebody. See, I'm gonna hit. Who booked this shit? See, y'all done got this woman thinking that I'm. See. But no, man. Like, again, it's just, to me, it's just the weirdest thing when people say stuff like, it's just so, like, it's humbling and it's weird. But yo, hey, why the hell not? That's why. But all right, so let's talk about. Okay. You speak on mindset a lot because you are a certified professional life coach. I don't know if you've been around to hear my thoughts on life coaches. Not a fan.
Me either, by the way.
I know.
Let me touch on that real quick, so people understand why. Coaching by itself is a skill set. Well, coaching is like sales. People can teach you a process to sales. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Coaching is like that. It's a process. It's a skill set. However, how people apply that skill set is what I'm not too fond of, especially in the life coaching industry. So life coaching in and of itself, I mean, the general public is confused. The general public has no idea truly what a life coach does. However, someone who actually is certified in the skill set of coaching can take that skill set and apply it just like they could with sales. So when I see people who specialize in business coaching, social media coaching, LinkedIn coaching, something specific in a niche market, I'll pay attention in those instances. But when people come to me as a life coach, even though I am certified as a life coach, that's one of my certifications, I don't, I don't, I'm not moved when I hear about a life coach. So I get it. I understand. It's not the very first thing that I tell someone. In fact, I rarely market myself as a life coach.
Right.
But I get it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's no shot to the people who actually know how to coach. My issue is this. There's a bunch of morons, and let's just call them what I like to call them, dumb schmucks, who are sitting right now in their mama's basement, and they get up and they say, hey, I'm going to be a life coach.
Right. Yeah.
You know, there are no regulations for this. There are no checks and balances. There's nobody to answer to. You cut a check, you take a course, you go online, you press a button, boom. You know, and to me, it's extremely irresponsible because it's like being a drunk driving a school bus. You're putting other people's lives who are fragile in your hands, and you're going to drive them off a fucking cliff. To me, that is problematic. You know, like, my whole thing is there was no motivational speaking certification, but I look at it like this. If my coach was the #1 Toastmaster speaker on the planet, I'm certified. Just, I mean, end of discussion. I mean, that and the fact that I've spoken to 1 million human beings from the stage, you can say whatever the fuck you want. Now, when it comes to coaching, I don't do a lot of life coaching because, well, I mean, okay, yeah, I'm a minister, but I mean, I'm the most unconventional minister probably since the Lord himself. Mm-hmm. You know, so I don't do the whole, oh, hug yourself. Oh, light a candle and think affirming thoughts. No, get your ass up and make it happen. To me, I don't believe in people who get on their knees, light a cigarette, open your ass cheeks and blow all the smoke up there. To me, I'm just not here for it, you know. But when you are helping people and you're legitimately helping people, more fucking power to you, you know. And the thing about you, like, people don't understand this. When they go to getoveryourselfcoaching.com, there are lots of things that they can do. They can, and my personal favorite is make a payment. Right? We need these checks.
Right?
Shit. Like Arsenio Hall said in 1989, we need that money that folds. But no, you know, when you're about your business and you're about making sure that you can take care of people, there is a cost associated with that, and I'm not mad at that. But people can book a strategy session with you. They can know about you, find out, you know, whether or not they're standing in their own way. They can get LinkedIn coaching, they can get career coaching. You know, they can hear interviews you've done. You know, so there's a lot there. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with your face. Me personally, to this day, and I've been in the broadcast industry since 1987. I still don't like the sound of my own voice. I'm still waiting for my voice to change. You know, and it's like I'll go back and I'll listen to like old rap records and old like radio broadcasts I did, and I'm like, damn, my voice was high then. Like, damn, what? And I mean, I got big balls, so I'm just like waiting for them to drop, you know, so I can go, oh yeah. But see, this is never going to happen. So, you know, the fact that you were able to get over, you know, the comfortability of being anonymous, you know, fucking hats off to you. You know, so what, you know, what are your plans moving forward? What's the next mountain you're trying to climb?
Oh my gosh, the next mountain, I am super excited about this one. One of my mentors, actually, Earl, told me that I need to master the art of creating apps. And so my 2017 roadmap is filled now with creating apps. And I set myself a pretty high number of apps that I want to create in 2017. Not all for myself, but for my clients as well, because I came out of technology. I worked for companies like AT&T Wireless and Verizon Wireless, and I was one of the people that sold the first cell phones way back. So that's the industry that I know, and I understand technology and the backbone of it. But I do also understand that apps are the wave of the future. Websites they're so obsolete pretty much. And so anyone now in business who doesn't have apps is already behind. And I know a whole lot of those people who are already behind. And so my commitment to my crowd is to learn that process, but not only learn it, master it so that I can help them create apps for themselves and their businesses so that we can all be sustainable. I'm into collective wealth. I listen to people that say it's lonely at the top and success is you wake up one day and there's nobody around. And I get that. I live that life, but I also think it doesn't need to be that way. If we would all bring people with us, if we practice collective wealth building as a people, then I feel I would feel more confident that when I get where I'm trying to go, that there'll be somebody right there because I brought them with me. So I'm into sharing what I know and sharing my resources with people who are actually going to do the work themselves, not just random people, because I learned that lesson the hard way. The people that I truly care about, rolled with for many, many years, those are the people who I can't tell you that they've supported my business. I can't tell you that they've purchased my book or that they've hired me for a session. I can't say that. But what I can say is the people that I've met in the last couple of years are the people who have supported me and who have invested in my business and who are trying to help me get to the next level. And those are the people that I want to make sure I pay it forward, because the seeds that they're planting in me are seeds that are growing at a very high rate of speed. And those seeds are growing into something I'm going to leave for someone else. And if we keep doing that, if more and more of us do that and bring people with us and share resources and share ideas, then we'll be sitting in a whole different place in the years to come. And I get really excited about things like that. I'm a fan of people like Boyce Watkins and David Banner. And as a matter of fact, both of them are speaking tonight in St. Louis, and I can't be there. But those are the people who I love to listen to, because when I hear them teaching the idea of collective wealth, it warms my heart, because that's not what I grew up on. I grew up on, you go do this, you get yours. I didn't grow up hearing that we could all sit in a room together and invest together. I didn't have access to groups like CEO Space growing up. Now I'm a club president for them, so I get to help other entrepreneurs get access to capital. So the people that I'm bringing in are people who look like me, who I know didn't grow up the way I grew up with that same message. So I want to be able to share that, and the more of that we do, the more excited I get. And hats off to you, by the way, on your Buy Black challenge. I commend you on that. Anytime that I hear someone promoting Black businesses in general, it always catches my attention, makes my antenna go up, because we all have those experiences where we maybe bought something from a Black business and didn't have the best experience. And you'll hear people say, "Oh, I'll never buy Black again." Right.
Right.
And it just, stuff like that just makes my blood boil. But when I hear people like you promoting the fact that this is not just something to do, it's a mindset.
Yep.
It truly, truly is a mindset. And we need more of that. So I commend you on that.
Yeah, you know what? For me, though, like, I have a history, God forbid, I have a history of Alzheimer's and dementia in my family. And there may come a day where, the bully might not be able to flex these muscles, and these synapses in his brain be firing off the way that they're firing off right now. I still want people to understand that my Blackness will still be my Blackness. And I make no apology for that, because nobody else apologizes for their whiteness or their Japaneseness or whatever it is. And that's just what it is. Here's my issue with Black folks. Black folks have this thing where they believe that just because they're a strong-willed person, that they got to be the leader. I ain't never been interested in being the fucking leader. I don't want to be your fucking leader at all. Mm-hmm. David Banner don't want to be your fucking leader. Killer Mike don't want to be your fucking leader. Boyce Watkins don't want to be your fucking leader. What we are, and when I say we, I'm just talking about the names I just threw out, not that we're some kind of collective consortium, because that's not the case. I've never met Dr. Boyce, and for some odd reason he don't return my emails, but conversation for another day. My thing is, stop feeling like someone else's greatness is somehow a gallon of piss in your bowl of Cheerios. Mm-hmm. There are people to this day, I'll put something up, and their bitch asses in their level of obscurity will try to come from my neck. I don't like the way you said that. Bitch, who the fuck asked you? Mm-hmm. Move the fuck on. There's a whole lot of real estate on this here internet. But this right here, this how the fuck I'm speaking. My 70-year-old mama don't tell me how the fuck to say something. Mm-hmm. You want to know why? Because I'm growner than grown, bitch. That's why. And I'm not here for everybody. So don't tell me about this, that, and the third. And please don't give me any fucking long 30-minute dissertations. Don't sit on the fucking keyboard and start doing this. Oh, I'm going to show him tippity tappity tappity tap. I'll tell him you lost a fan. Oh, bitch, get in line. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And if you're that bothered, and this just goes for everybody. This is a life lesson for people. If you're that bothered by me, tell me how my name tastes, because it's still in your mouth, bitch.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a psychosis there that comes from the fact that I am unapologetic about who the fuck I am, and that makes you uncomfortable because you're not sure who the fuck you are.
That's it. That's exactly it.
And then, yes, I use foul language from time to time. I fucking do. Because, damn it, I like the way it tastes. Because, damn it, I love it. Sorry. That's just what it is. I'm a kid who grew up with listening to Lenny Bruce, fucking George Carlin, J. Anthony Brown, Red Fox, and Richard Pryor. I like to cuss every once in a while. And you know what else? You know who do you know who set me free about cussing as a speaker? Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins says, I don't curse for the sake of cursing. I curse to shock the system and make sure you're paying attention. Mm-hmm. A word is a word. It's only how much power you choose to assign to it. So you don't like my delivery because I'm not telling you to go out here, eat a bowl of gummy bears with your ice cream and go dance the dance that the Care Bears do in the forest of feelings with the Care Bear fucking cousins. But I'm telling you, get your shit together. Mm-hmm. You want to be a leader? Go ahead and lead yourself then, goddammit. Like, seriously, I don't understand why, because black people so badly want to do something, that they have to feel like they need to lead something. That's why you don't see Jesse Jackson with Farrakhan. You know what I'm saying? That's why Tavis Smiley's been butthurt for 8 years about Obama in the fucking White House. And don't even start on Obama, but conversation for another day. That's why Boyce Watkins and Tavis are beefing, and Tavis does the fucking juvenile 13-year-old girl response of saying, Google me, like he's one of the goddamn Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is the problem with black folks. You don't hear this shit. You don't hear Vaynerchuk and Robin saying this shit.
No, not at all.
You don't. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's the shit. Like,
I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier, though, about how we were programmed to go to school, get a job, and work for the man. And in that life, what we're asking for is for someone else to control our destiny. And, you know, I'm listening to you. I'm reminded of a situation with profanity with me in the corporate world. I had the highest rating as a trainer on my team for 9 years straight. So people that go through training, you know, at the end of a class, they got to do those silly little evaluations. And I pretty much led that for years on end and had a very good track record throughout my corporate life. And I had one situation. I was training a class on sales prospecting and the fears behind sales prospecting. And one of the students in the class asked me, she said, "TaJauna, when you're nervous getting ready to go into a sales appointment with someone of power, if you're nervous, what do you say to yourself? What's your self-talk?" She's asking me a personal question. So I'm going to answer it based on what I do. And I said, well, I just remind myself and I say to myself, I am the shit. And I said to her, I said, this is something you should say to yourself. Just say it. I am the shit. She repeats. Now, this is Becky, okay? This is Becky with the good hair. She repeats it. She says it like Becky, I'm the shit. And I said, no. You got to say that with conviction. I am the shit. She repeats it again. And I'm like, so I go, okay, everybody repeat after me. I am the shit. In the entire class, there's 15 people. 14 out of 15 people said that sentence. But the one person who didn't is the one person who introduced themselves at the beginning of class. You know, everyone stands up, they introduce themselves, all that great stuff. He stood up at the beginning of class and said, "Hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm a Jesus freak." Well, this is me, I should have connected the dots. I should have realized that, okay, I got a Jesus freak sitting in front of me. So when I say out loud multiple times, I am the shit, I should expect that the Jesus freak in the room is going to have a problem with that. And lo and behold, the Jesus freak in the room did have a problem with that. And they did go to HR and they did say TaJauna Ross was inappropriate by using profanity in class. So HR calls me and they question me about it. I tell them exactly what went down. But what ended up happening as a result of, this big drawn out HR investigation about me, during this process, in the corporate world, no one talks to you about what's actually happening with your investigation. So no one's communicating with me. No one's telling me anything. All I know is some dude went to HR and now I got to answer to people. But it caused me a lot of stress because they also would not allow me to address the situation with the other parties involved. They wouldn't allow me to do that. So that whole situation caused me a lot of stress, and so much stress that it actually caused me to go out on medical leave because my stress actually turned into prolonged stress after a very long bout. And ironically, now to this day, that same sentence on purpose is a part of my brand. And the reason it's on purpose is because I remember one of my mentors telling me, Earl actually telling me that your pain is what propels your purpose. And so I took that situation that caused me pain emotionally, physically, and I turned that into something that I now have monetized. And it's a part of my brand. And so it goes back to what you were saying earlier. We put power in someone else's hands to control our lifestyle. And that's what we teach our kids. We don't teach entrepreneurship. I didn't learn that. I didn't take classes on how to have your own business, but I studied business for many, many years. No one ever taught me that lesson. Right. And if they did, I was probably out on detention or something. Right. But that just wasn't a common lesson. Yet now I've taken control of every aspect of my life and rolled it into my business so that I now get paid for shit that couldn't happen in the corporate world. And that's the beauty of getting to the point where you say yes to yourself. I now have a mohawk. Yes. Just like you, And the reason this is so significant in my life is because I did the whole corporate thing where You could ask anybody if they saw me in whatever city I was traveling to. You would always see me in a nice suit, some 4-inch heels, the nice bags, the accessories, the works. I did that shit. That was my look. I was known for that. But now that I have my own business, I simply refuse to put any of that on anymore. I have a closet in my house that I haven't been in the last year and a half, because when I open the door to that closet, the only thing I see are business suits, stilettos, and handbags, none of which I wear anymore. So now when people come to see me speak, they're always going to see me in a pair of jeans. I'm always going to have on a blazer, but I'm in my Chuck Taylors every day. I won't put on stilettos. And now they see me with a mohawk. And I look at it the same way you look at it, because you said it earlier. I'm not for everybody. I'm not trying to be for everybody. But the people in my posse who have latched on to this brand, I resonate with them, I impact their life in some way, those people are the people who are comfortable enough with themselves. They've said yes to themselves, so they don't give a rat's ass about how I show up in my jeans and my chucks and my mohawk. Those are the people I want to be around.
Pretty much. I'm gonna tell you one thing though. You better than me, because I don't wear blazers. Fuck a blazer. Coming in this bitch in my motherfucking t-shirt. You want to know why? Because somebody asked me this once. It wasn't too long ago. I was at a speaking engagement. Somebody asked me, "Well, you wear a mohawk, and I mean, look at everybody else on the dais. They're all dressed, really professionally. Like, well, how do you justify that?" And I looked at him, and I know he thought I was going to go off on him, because I mean, it takes balls to ask me a question like that and expect not to get cussed the fuck out. So I applaud him for his balls, and I said to him, "Well, thanks for your question. My answer is, while all these people are impeccably dressed, I close $1 million worth of revenue in this mohawk. So my mohawk doesn't fucking matter. And I wear it because I like to fly in the face of what people think professionalism is. And professionalism for a black man basically means, boys, show me your papers." That's why black people have this disease where they believe they have to have these degrees. It's the disease of degrees. Trademark that shit. It's the disease of degrees, god damn it. That's what it is, though. People feel like they have to show them their papers, they have to buck dance, they have to be professional. I saw somebody like Steve Perry, for example, whose work I applaud when it comes to young black boys, actually made kids cut their locks off so that they can be more professional. And what that read to me was that you need to conform for what makes white people comfortable.
Right. And that breaks my heart. That breaks my heart. And I'm saying that as a woman who had locks for 14 years in corporate America. And so every time I hear or see that, it really makes me sad, because it's saying to that person, you are not good enough with your hair that way. And you're right. It's a disease. And so I'm even more grateful now that I've been cured of that disease, because I don't care what people think about how I show up. It's not a thought in my mind. And it took me 40 some years to get to that point. But now that I'm at that point, I realize that's what was holding me back, is needing acceptance and validation from everybody else. And I wasn't even validating my own self. So why would I expect someone else to validate me when I couldn't do it for myself? It's kind of like it's the same thing I say to entrepreneurs when they call me every day and they want my services, but they don't want to pay for it. And I just think to myself, okay, so let me get this right. And I'll say it, I'll tell them, let me get this right. You want me to invest in you by giving you my time, my knowledge, and showing you how to make money for your business, but you don't want to invest in you? I don't think that makes sense. I had a woman tell me yesterday, that she has spent $9,000 on her business and she doesn't want to spend any more money. I about cussed her out. I mean, literally, I said, okay, let me get this right. You wear this John Maxwell badge like that's your daddy. I mean, because she
they love him. They love him. I'm a John Maxwell speaker.
Up, right? They eat that name up. But she had 2 words in between her name and his name. And that's how fast she wanted to let you know that she was down with John Maxwell. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, so let me get this right. You invested a shitload of money into that program. And once you got that ribbon to wear, then you started investing in your business, but you're capping out at $9,000. She said, yeah, I don't think I can spend any more. And I said, okay, just on sheer numbers alone, like I don't care what tax bracket you're in, I don't care how much money you've made in your life, but on any given day in any country, on anywhere, $9,000 is not enough to invest in a business that you expect to actually grow. Like who decides that $9,000 is their cap? And when and I tried to get her to understand, like, really, 9,000 and you're done? Come on now. We cannot have that mindset as a people. We can't. We cannot keep teaching kids that they can't invest in themselves because the money they're going to spend on something is just lost money. Like, no, that's not how this shit works. And she let me know with that statement when she said she was done. She let me know that I can never, ever work with this woman, ever. That's how I translated it. She said $9,000 was her cap. I translated that to, don't you ever work with this woman. Mm-hmm. Don't you ever collaborate with her. Don't you ever refer anyone to her. Don't you ever do business with this woman. Because I cannot afford to do business with someone else who has that mentality.
At all.
Like, it just, I don't understand that. And I just wanted to say, because she did have a really, really nice Louis Vuitton bag. I mean, that shit was nice. One of the big ones that you could fit 2 laptops in. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to just say to her, you know, you spent $9,000 on Louis Vuittons in your lifetime, I'm sure, but you won't spend more than that on you. Yep. How is that the mentality when we turn around? We want all these other people to spend money on us. I don't get it. And so I'm convinced that that a part of my purpose in life is to use the gift that I have to teach and be able to inspire people to get beyond that mentality and that mindset. Because as a people, we have got to understand that we have to have a healthier relationship with money, because the way we interact with money today as a people is not helping us. And then I talk to so many people, entrepreneurs, that don't understand the difference between money and capital. Those are 2 different conversations. And the people who actually are backs up against the wall, they've got to call me one day. They're the people who are out looking for money and asking everybody for money rather than raising capital. And they don't understand the difference. And there truly, truly is a difference. So I am committed to using this gift to impact in that space, because we can't keep working for other people. We can't keep doing this for generations to come. We need to start building our own and owning our own shit. And so it's going to take people like us and an army of people to get that message across.
Boy, let me tell you something. This is probably the best 90-minute conversation I've had outside of one with my wife. Yeah, just like, no, like dope shit. Like, you know, Coach, you doing your thing, man. TaJauna Ross is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. You know, she's Business Bully approved. You know, and I mean, let's face it, she's part of that Mohawk Nation. You gotta love that. She sent me an SMS. She said, "Yo, I just told my barber about you," and I was like, "Okay." She's like, "No, I'm getting a Mohawk." I said, "Shit, yeah." You know what I mean? Because it's like, she didn't need to tell me nothing else, because in that moment I understood that she got my crazy. Because there's a lot of people who don't get my crazy, and fuck them. But for those of you who do, you know, I appreciate you. Now, TaJauna has a much softer approach than I do in a lot of things, depending on who you ask. Now, there are people who will say, "Oh no, Dave, you ain't never doing no TaJauna, man. She's and I'm like, no, because here's the difference. See, if it were me and there were a Jesus freak, and that Jesus freak started talking about I'm a Jesus freak, I'm gonna be like, listen here, Peter. Yeah, bro, I'm a minister, so let me break this down to you. Number one, Jesus was known as a drunk and a rabble-rouser. Jesus committed crimes. Jesus was arrested, tried, convicted, and sentenced to death after being put up for parole and losing to a rapist and a murderer. So, he was perfect. And then I start running it down with his Christian ass, and I go down this checklist like this, because I love checking Christians on their bullshit. Do you drink? Oh, no, I don't drink. I just don't. Well, Jesus drank, so strike one. Ever been arrested? No. So I guess you've never been on parole? No. So you're never going to be Christ-like. So sit your ass down and watch me say these motherfucking curse words. I am this shit. See, that right there, that's the line. That, in case you were wondering where the divide was, TaJauna, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to reach Coach TaJauna, tell them where to find you.
The best way to reach me, of course, is on LinkedIn, but of course, anyone reaching out to me on LinkedIn needs to send me a personalized connection request. And I would even go so far, if I were you, in sending that request, mentioning this show so I know that this is how you were introduced to me, and I will accept that request. So find me on LinkedIn. You can also go to thelinkedinprofessor.com, as well as my coach TaJauna on Facebook. Those are the best ways to find me. And if you're old school and you like the art of conversation the way I do, please give me a call. My phone number is area code 331-222-9540. I love to actually speak with people, so lock my number in. Give me a call sometime.
Wow, that's what it is. Coach TaJauna, hang out for a second. Thanks for being on the Business Bully Show. I will catch you guys next time. I'm out. Like a used condom, I'm off, but herpes, I'll be right back around.